Hello you guys, alexab.alchemy here for your weekly card pull. Today I'm going to do a reading for the week of April 23rd, 2023. This reading is specifically designed for all of my Capricorn, so if you have a Capricorn sun, moon, rising, or north node, this one is for you. I used to do a reading for every single sign. I've been a little bit limited on my time lately, so I stuck to just doing Capricorn. If I get enough demand, I will start doing readings for other signs. So if you want a reading for another one, please, if you want it for your sun, your moon, your rising, your north node, for someone that you know, list in the comments below what you want me to do, and the more requests I get, the more likely I am to start incorporating other signs. So with all of that being said, today I have 3 decks that were kind of calling out to me. So I have 2 oracle decks and 1 tarot deck. We will see what unfolds. I am feeling actually called to start with my Sacred Creators Oracle deck, so we will start here. So a few things to note, my dear Capricorns. Just in general, as I am pulling cards, things that might be helpful to keep in mind for this upcoming week and this month in general. We just moved into Taurus season, baby. So grounding, slowness, slowing things down like I need to do. I talk fast in Portuguese, but this level of kind of like grounding into your space, and also getting, I can't get over the word ground, just like getting more in touch and in sync with, oh, there's one card, how you feel on a very deep level and what you are experiencing, what your emotions, like what you're needing, just grounding. We're just gonna keep it simple, okay? So we've just moved out of Aries season. However, Aries is a very fiery energy. It's really, really charismatic, and it has a lot of this like creative kind of like new beginnings energy. So because the way that astrology kind of works, cycles work, life works in general, is this balancing effect. So we are just coming out of this really exciting time with a lot of newness and a lot of new fresh energy, and now we get time to really integrate that and ground into that. So my dear Capricorns, Taurus is an earth sign, Capricorn is also an earth sign, so there is something that's kind of inherently nice about being in this season for us. All right, so let's see what we have. I feel like those we needed to that way. Okay, so my dear Capricorns, for this upcoming week, it looks like you might be working with some potential internal contradictions, which makes a lot of sense. We did, let's see, so today, as I'm filming this, is the 21st, so we have Mercury going into retrograde today, so the 21st equals Mercury retrograde, the 20th equals eclipse, so we had a solar eclipse, so there has been a lot of like shifting energy, moving energy, again, coming out of the Aries season and moving into Taurus. There's a lot of like, chaos, for lack of a better word. And you may be experiencing this, which is where the beauty of the Taurus season comes in, is it's really inviting us to kind of ground down into ourselves and our present moment, in the midst of everything that's kind of like flying around and everything that's happening. So the first card that popped out for you guys is to befriend the word polarize. Now, my dear Capricorns, anytime this card comes up to me, there's an encouragement for you to be willing to accept that you're not going to be everyone's cup of tea. Your opinions are not going to be everyone's cup of tea, but your opinions, everything that you bring to the table will way more deeply pull in the people that are meant to be there when you're willing to polarize others. This doesn't mean that you have to intentionally start drama. This doesn't mean that you have to intentionally bring about chaos into your life or into the lives of others. But it does mean that tension will inherently exist. There are opposing forces in this world. That is natural and that is okay. And so if you're finding that you're feeling uncomfortable or a little bit scared or a little bit gun shy or hesitant to do things that you deeply, on a grounded level, coming from a grounded place, that you feel called to do, you're being encouraged to become friends with that concept of polarity and actually the beauty that it can bring to the earth and to your experience. Next one I pulled, get back to elemental. I really just feel like this is asking you to tune into that Taurus energy, getting more comfortable with, I guess, getting back to the basics of life, the basics of how you feel. I feel like in Aries season, there's a chance that we're gonna have like all these new projects, all these new things beginning, which is totally fine. And sometimes it can be a little bit distracting because we have so much like newness and scattered energy. And so right now you're being asked to kind of take a step back, reevaluate and reassess what it is that you need and what it is that you want in this chapter right now, and to get back to the basics of those things. When I ask, if I ask like how do I feel like you guys should go about this, the card that's sticking out to me right now is to find your sacred flow. So getting back to elemental, find your sacred flow, befriend the word polarize. These are all kind of telling me at a very basic level, there's something that's going to be really authentic to you and to your nature and to your energy and what works well for you that you're probably going to want to get tapped into, my dear Capricorns. And I think this like your own signature, if you will, your own authentic flow, your own personal desire, your personal brand, like what is it that makes you you, that allows you to be who you are in your space, in your body. Taurus is really, really like body oriented and space oriented. So understanding like what it is that makes it unique to you, that allows you to progress forward and feel like your journey is your own. I think you might want to focus on that. Maybe you could make a list, that's very Virgo energy, but also an earth sign. You could make a list of like the things that feel resonant to you, the things that feel important, and make sure that you're making space for those, and the things that kind of feel like unnecessary fluff or drama or just like not, I don't want to say not productive, because it's not like you have to be doing something productive all the time, but not conducive to the overall life balance that you want. Maybe just being willing to kind of like let those things go and really getting back to elemental. I did also pull in reverse the card that acknowledges the sacred flow of yes. So in reverse, things can imply maybe you need to look a little bit more deeply at yourself. I just noticed some really beautiful orange poppies, and this is orange, which is nice. So orange, sacral chakra. Some sacral chakra work probably would be good for you guys. Yeah, so I guess understanding like where is your yes? What is your yes? If it's not going back to like getting back to elemental, if it's not a hell yes, it's probably a no. So really identifying like what feels like something that you're like, I absolutely want to invest in this. I absolutely want to move forward with this. And what feels like something that's maybe like, I don't know, you know, and really following your yeses. Because it's in reverse, I feel like this is gonna, again, be something that's gonna be really personal to you. Going back to the first card that I pulled, the decisions that you make about what you want to move forward in really need to be something that is true for you. And taking some time out, maybe time to yourself, time away from the rest of the world around you, a little bit goes a long way. I don't feel like it has to be a long time, but taking a little bit of time to kind of identify like what makes you feel like you are in your flow. There's two words that have the word flow out here. Like, identify what makes you feel like you are in flow with yourself and your own authentic nature and your own authentic truth. What are those things, and how can you promote more of those and experience more of those, and saying yes to those opportunities that bring that forward for you, even if they feel like they're a little bit challenging or a little bit scary. Like saying yes to the things that really put you in that flow state and put you in the state of I was gonna say acceptance, and then I noticed this card, this is accept and receive. So healthy feminine energy, you guys, my dear Capricorns. I know Capricorn is kind of a masculine energy. It's very, and Taurus has kind of a masculine energy to it as well. They're both very like grounded and stable, and you keep driving and you keep working and you go and you go and you go and you go, which is fine. But also to create that sense of balance for yourself, like don't be afraid to accept things. Don't be afraid to receive. Don't be afraid to tap into that more flowy feminine energy. Waters, I don't know, waters is not the right word. Water nourishes earth, you know, like plants, earth is not going to grow without the existence of water. When we look at things from a spiritual perspective, if you are familiar with whooshing, it's amazing. If you're not, highly recommend looking into it if that stuff tickles your fancy. But in the flow of life, and I mean, we can see it in nature, it's not like hard to guess, like water is really important for the growth of new life and for the growth of new earth. So knowing that Taurus is an earth sign, Capricorn is an earth sign, this earth energy, this like stable, consistent energy is going to grow from something. And the thing it's going to grow from is that watery element of life. And when that is expressed emotionally, that watery element is your emotions and your emotional capacity and your ability to kind of, again, flow. This flow word's really big. There's definitely a need for you to also be in the midst of like this potentially chaotic time, for you to ground into yourself and into your space, you need to be in touch with your emotions. You need to be in touch with your emotionality and also with your femininity or your feminine side. Even for men, we all have masculine and feminine energy within us. They're going to be in different ratios, but there is a really, really high importance. I'm getting that this is really necessary for some of you to really like make a priority. Like, this might be get back to elemental. This might be one of the elements that you have been missing or kind of brushing off to the side, and it needs to be a piece because it is a pivotal component of your experience and what you're actually going to be moving into. So this ability to tap into that receiving state and to tap into that flow state and that less structured state, because you need that balance. You really do. The last card that I pulled from, I feel like there's one other thing that I want to say with that, but some polarity in water. I don't know. I'll come back to that. Maybe I won't. We'll see. But the last thing that's coming up for me, for you guys, is a card that acknowledges you to ambush your fears with ferocious dream. Now, dreams in general, watery energy, my dear, that's Pisces energy. So I feel like earth and water are kind of big themes right now. Some of you, my dear Capricorns, I'm feeling like this is where the polarity card might be also related to something. I feel like for some of you, your fear of polarizing other people, your fear of the polarity that you're going to potentially cause in your life or for others might be stopping you from actually moving forward in the direction of the things that you really feel called to do or really feel called to move towards. And there is an encouragement for you this week, my Capricorns, to really get centered with what your dreams and what your intentions are. I had an interesting thought today that I feel called to pull into this reading, that the most valuable thing that you can oftentimes bring forward for other people, for the productivity of life in general, is yourself and your whole entire self. And sometimes the fear of what others will think of that will stop us from bringing it forward, which makes sense because it's like one of the most vulnerable and honest and raw things you can bring forward is yourself. However, if you are halting pieces of yourself or cutting them short or not giving them enough validation from within to come up and to come forward and to be valued and recognized and shared, then you're ultimately like cutting other people off from your greatest gift, which is, again, yourself. So I do feel like it will be really beneficial for you. I feel like I need to pull a couple more cards. I feel like it will be really beneficial for you this week, my Capricorns, to get clear on what it is that you want, what it is, who it is that you are, and to just know that like that has some inherent value. Like, the nature of life is cycles and seasons, and so whatever season you're in right now, whatever energy it is that you're bringing forward, that has value. So funny. I was noticing, I was like, wow, a lot of these cards are like warm colors, they're like oranges and stuff, and I just whipped out, and I was thinking like, well, there's not really any like green Taurus cards, and we just pulled out 2 green and 1 blue. Excuse me. Okay, so, all right, change maker. Okay, so make waves, shift the way to new potential. Okay, definitely some change going on here. I feel like some of you might be in the midst of this time. I mean, moving out of Aries season into Taurus, there is definitely a shift that we're all experiencing of getting a little bit more grounded and kind of like taking that fiery energy and watering it down a little bit, if you will, to actually create an ecosystem where it can grow into something that is a little bit more stable and sturdy, like a tree. So yeah, there's this really important, I don't want to say transition, but I feel like transition that you are probably experiencing. And I feel like for a lot of you, this one was reversed. I feel like for a lot of you, this is internal. This is an internal shift. This isn't necessarily like big moves, moving your house, getting a new job, relationships quitting and ending. That can be part of it. But I feel like the actual work that's happening and the actual work that's unfolding right now is a very internal process. And this may not be revealed to you like outwardly for a while. You may actually not even see the more tangible aspects of what, like the work that you're doing right now. It might feel or be coming from a very internal place. This might be like a very personal experience, and that's completely okay because the fruits of those labors will come forward we're just, you know, in the process of kind of planting the seeds and watering them. Finally, for you guys, collaboration of souls. For some of you, I feel like in order to really evoke the changes that you're wanting, eventually, maybe right now, maybe not right now, there is some collaborative effort that might be required. Of course, please be mindful that, like, you know, knowing that you're going to polarize some people, like, be mindful of the people that are not going to be super supportive of your stance or what you're trying to create or what you want to bring forward. And those people don't really need to be on your team. There is a collaborative effort, though, that I think will be beneficial with the people that are, like, so fucking gung-ho for what you are doing, that are so in for what you have to offer. And, like, those are the people that you want on your team. Those are the people that you want to be, like, partnering with. Those are the people that you want to be sharing energy with and your time with. And if you are not around people and not, like, in experiences that are really promoting, like, what you, when you're grounded and with yourself, if they're not promoting, like, that really deep piece of you, I'm sorry, my dear, like, they do not need to be a piece of that puzzle right now. They just don't. It's cool. Time was on 15:55. All right. I am feeling like I want to do a little bit of tarot for you guys as well. I have the Crystal Spirits deck, but I really feel like we kind of got the message across. So what question do I want to ask for you guys? Any other guidance, things to consider that might be helpful, especially in the midst of, like, eclipse season and excuse me, Mercury retrograde? Like, what are some things that maybe we can expect for this upcoming week that might be helpful, knowing that, like, there is an intention for regrounding and getting close to the self? What else might be helpful? Okay, my dear Capricorns, I pulled a lot of swords cards for you, which is, like, the air element of life. I feel like a lot of you are going to be working with your perspective and your narrative and your, like, mental experience of what is going on in your life right now. So I'm gonna kind of go in order of, like, what came up. First one that stuck out to me, we got Two of Cups in upright, which is amazing. This is a really positive card. I know I just said I pull a lot of cards, and then first one I pulled up was the Cups card. But Cups also is related to water and that kind of, like, emotionality, if you will. The Two of Cups is really, really pertinent to the idea of, like, union. And, you know, I had mentioned from the last deck that there was a really big element for you guys in the way of working with other people and, you know, sharing your ideas, knowing that you're going to polarize some people. I did pull Five of Swords in reverse, so yes, it is likely that there might be or have been some conflicts with this. If that's the case, again, it's totally okay. That's part of life. That is not unnatural to have, like, conflict or differing opinions or differing views. But on the bright side, there is definitely this kind of harmonizing effect that, like, it will bring unison with some people, and it will likely cause some tension with others, and that's completely okay. Again, you're being encouraged to befriend the word polarize, to know, like, it's okay to have that, and to be willing to polarize is also to be willing to be yourself, because you, like I said, you're not going to be everyone's cup of tea. If you are magnetic, a magnet is going to bring things in and also push things away depending on the way that you and they are charged. So if it's helpful to just think about that analogy, like, it's not about your value or your worth or your power or anything. It's just a matter of you're going to attract the things that are meant for you, and you're going to repel the things that are not. And the more you are willing to be polarizing, the more you're going to attract in those specific situations and scenarios that are going to benefit you, that are meant for you, and the more you're going to repel those ones that are not. And that is completely okay, my dear. It's completely okay. I also pulled for you guys the Hanged Man in upright, and personally, I love this card. I know it looks like it can be a little bit auspicious, but to me, this card implies, like, a really, really big shift where you are able to pause and surrender and let go of things and adapt a new perspective. And to me, like, new perspective, that's, like, the strongest message that came out of all of this. I feel like whatever it is that you're navigating this week or you will navigate, all of it is conducive. That word is coming back again. All of it is conducive to you having experiences that bring you new perspectives and new perspectives in your life, which is, like, incredible and so amazing. So, yeah, in this process, maybe you are letting things go. We have Ten of Swords in reverse. We have the Six of Swords in upright. So there's definitely this level of, like, letting go of the things that are holding you back, moving away from the things that don't really serve you, and also this kind of, like, ending of certain cycles. and especially cycles that don't really serve you. Again, Hanged Man is telling you that there is a perspective shift. So if things have ended and you have felt like it's the end of the world or it's the worst thing possible, to me, this card actually says that your narrative about what's going on is subject to change, which is amazing. And that is going to be where you're going to find and or where you're going to experience your own power. So for some of you, this may come in the form, per the Ten of Swords in reverse, this may come in the form of a change that is inevitable. Maybe it's something that is scary or something that you kind of feel like you have been resisting and you're not ready for or you don't want. But ultimately, I feel like the thing that's going to make you ready for this shift and this change, that's going to make you ready to let go of the things that are holding you back, the things that's going to make you ready to be willing to make some people uncomfortable so you can have those relationships and those connections with people that are going to encourage you along your journey. The single thing that's going to be the most helpful for you is being willing to adapt new perspectives and to understand you're looking at life from a different lens now than you once were. So, yeah, and having, been in the Aries season and just having closed out like the last 12 months before that and now moving into Taurus, like you're able to really ground into this chapter right now. And the more you're able to accept like the perspective you have and the things that you've learned in the past, I feel like the more readily you're going to be able to move forward with confidence. And I think that's really important, is like these potentially tough lessons, these potentially tough experiences are bringing you, at the end of the day, confidence. They're bringing you strength. So if you're feeling discouraged or afraid or anything like that, just know that this chapter is watering those seeds for you to have the life that you want. And it's a slow process. Taurus is a slow and stubborn, slow and steady wins the race kind of an energy. So it doesn't have to all be figured out right now. Not everything is going to happen in one day. Rome wasn't built in a day. This perspective of allowing things to unfold organically and slowly and with strength, like strongly. I feel like that is really kind of the piece that's really like hitting home for you guys right now, is a willingness to allow that process to happen, to flow with that process, and to trust that like the more you step into who you are authentically and the more you're willing to maybe make some people uncomfortable, the more beautiful your life will become, because you are planting the seeds for what it is that you really want and what you really feel aligned with. So thank you, my dears. I love that you guys tuned in with me. I feel like ready to close out. I feel like there was a couple of cards that maybe wanted to come out, but I kind of feel like that was enough. So if you have questions on anything, please let me know. Drop it in the comments below. Again, if there are certain signs that you want me to do that I have, that I did not do, that are not Capricorn, let me know in the comments below as well. I do pay attention to those, and so at the end of this month, I will be trying to make more time to do more readings if it feels like there is enough of a calling for that. And outside of that, you can find me here on TikTok, on Instagram, everywhere at alexab.alchemy. On TikTok, I did just release a video. I have a segment that I call What the Fuck Astrology, and I just released a segment today that was talking about like the different okay, let's see here, moving into Taurus and the eclipse and like everything astrologically that we are experiencing. If you want a little bit more information on that, I highly recommend that you go there and check that out. All of that aside though, I will try to post another one of these. I try to post these every single week, so I'll be back next week. And if there's anything you guys need in the meantime, if you want a personal reading or a private reading, please reach out and let me know, because I would love to provide that for you. All right, my dears, thank you so much for tuning in. I love you, I appreciate you, and I will see you guys next week. Cheers.